Hey everybody, this is Mr. Connor, and I'm sitting here with a few students.
My name's Salma.
My name's Lashanti.
My name's Mia.
I'm Amaiah.
I'm Jordan.
Awesome. Okay, so would one of you like to quickly explain what you all are doing up here and what you did this past week with a little bit of a journalism project? Any of you can explain it, or you can all do it at once.
I'll explain it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so what we do here is basically just like work in media, basically, and like podcasting, photography, filming, and other stuff like that. And what we did this week was we interviewed Euler staff and just asked them basic questions like, what do you do? What's your hobbies, etc.
Perfect, Salma. Mia, Lashanti, you want to add anything to that at all?
No.
Cool. I think you described it perfectly well, Salma. All right, so let's start out real quick. Let's do it this way. Each of you go around, just tell me who you interviewed. And Salma, you can start.
Okay, so I interviewed Miss Liz.
Okay.
I interviewed Miss Briley.
I interviewed Miss Swisher.
Mr. Shiloh. I interviewed Miss Raring from the 3rd grade.
All right, so we learned some new stuff, some things that are outside of the school world about our faculty members and our Euler family. Starting with Salma, would you like to tell us first what's something that you learned about interviews or about anything in general from doing this project?
So something new I learned was it was not as nerve-wracking as I thought it would be. You know, just having to give them the questions and that's it. Just have to move on to the next one.
Nice. And you realized, hopefully, that it's more of a conversation than anything. Once you get going, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That means you did it right. So, and then before we play a couple clips from the interview with Miss Liz, my wife, which is awesome, what was your favorite question and then your favorite answer of hers when you had this conversation with her?
My favorite question was asking her about you and how you guys met.
Yeah.
I found it really like nice and cute, kind of how you guys met in college, but then after you just reconnected. I found that very nice.
Thank you. And then we'll roll that clip now.
Next question is, when did you meet Mr. Connor?
Yeah, so technically, I met Mr. Connor when we were in college together. We were in the same organization in college. I remember him as the guy who played worship nights and played guitar in my college house that I lived in and would wear sweaters all the time and was really nice. But we ended up connecting in Cincinnati again a few years after college at the Graders in Hyde Park.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
All right, so I'd just like to thank Miss Liz for giving me your time so I can ask you questions about yourself and how your life is and what you do. So thank you very much for that.
All right, Lashanti, so do you want to tell us about, really quick, so you interviewed Miss Brierly. What is something that you learned from that experience?
I learned that interviewing people isn't scary because before I interviewed her, I was very nervous, but it was fun and easy. And it was like having a normal conversation.
Exactly. And we just want to keep hammering that point home, that it really is just a conversation. And you're just trying to find information about someone that normally you might not know. And so, you do that by having just a normal conversation and giving them the space to open up in a safe way. And you did that, which is sweet. So what was your favorite question and answer that Miss Brierly and you talked about during the interview?
My favorite question was when I asked her about what subject would she teach. And her answer was, like, I liked her answer because, like, she kind of gave, like, a little small backstory of how, like, she chose that. And I really liked that.
All right. Now we can roll that now.
If I could teach any other subject, I think I would teach music because I used to take classes in college to be a music teacher, and I love to sing. And I play piano and a little guitar. So I think it'd be super fun teaching the kids how to play instruments and singing.
I would like to thank Ms. Briley for letting me interview her.
So, Mia, you talked with Swish, and you guys are pretty close, right?
Yes.
So Mia, what is something that you learned from interviewing Swish?
I learned that in an interview, it wasn't as nervous as I thought it would be. Like, at first I was nervous, but like going into it, it was like a conversation and y'all both just talking.
Mm-hmm. Yep. From that conversation, what's something now that after interviewing Miss Swish in a really formal way that you'll take with you when you talk to other people for stories or for videos? Like what's a lesson that you now will hold on to?
Be more calm, because like once, like if they see you calm, they'll stop being nervous too.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a really good tip, because the more calm you are, the more of a safe space you create for the person you're interviewing, and then the more you'll get to learn about them. So that's awesome. That's sweet. And then what was your favorite part of your interview?
My favorite part was when I asked her what's her favorite class, because like her answer, it wasn't like biased. It was like an answer like I didn't like. You wouldn't really expect a teacher to say, but also you would. And then with a little bit of convincing, she said it was my class.
Ah, there you go. You got it out of her. The truth. That's awesome. So we'll play that part.
Yeah, that's the next question, and it better be the right answer.
Uh-oh.
What was your favorite class you ever taught in your career so
Oh,
far?
gosh. That's hard to say.
There's only one answer.
I can't just say it's your class, because then other people are going to get mad.
They can be
See-
mad that it's facts.
Okay, so here's the thing. You always love your first group, right? You have like a special bond with the first group you have. Now, at my old school, yeah, that was like by far my favorite group I had. Here, it was the first group here. They were tough. They're still tough. But I do love those kids. My second group was really good too. My third group, I didn't have them as much because of COVID. They were good when I had them though. I really like them. And then my fourth group I still have because I got to have them in 5th grade and 6th grade. And I really like them because I've had them for 2 years now.
No, those kids bad.
They're not as bad as they seem. I know you see them running around the hall, but people need to observe them in the classroom. They're actually really good students. You walked in, you saw them all quietly working.
You was good in and out the classroom, but you picking favorites. That's okay.
No, you're trying to get me to pick favorites, and I can't. I liked your group, though. I would say that your group, we had the most fun. Like, that was the group that we were able to, like, get learning done, but also have a lot of fun with it.
I just want to thank Miss Swisher for like taking her time out her day to take an interview and talking with me and let the people know who she is a little bit more.
That's perfect. So Amaiah, looks like you're up next, and the 2 questions that I have for you, we'll start with just the first one, and it's going to be from your interview experience with Miss Rearing. What's something that you learned about interviews?
So one thing I learned about interviewing was you have to be very clear when you speak, and very, like, the answers kind of have to be simple so they can understand exactly what you're saying. That, and to, like, not really focus on your environment, because sometimes your environment can, like, interfere with how the interview goes. So just really focus on the person you're interviewing.
Nice. That's great advice, actually, for anyone, too. What was your environment like? It was a classroom, right?
Well, there was a little girl talking to Miss Waring. There was, like, 4 kids asking if they can leave the classroom. They were opening, I think, like, these gifts. I think they do Valentine's Day things.
Aww.
And just a lot going on. A lot of, like, kids behind you. Got to watch where you're moving. Try not to hit someone's kid. It's just, it was just a lot,
Yeah, and how do you feel like, what would you do to make Miss Rearing more comfortable, even despite all this craziness happening around her?
Well, I guess to really focus in on her and be very patient with the situation, because she is still teaching and she is still a teacher regardless. I guess to, like, really be flexible and just work with her.
Yes, really be flexible and work with the person you're interviewing. That's huge, because then it makes them way more comfortable if you're working with them and not trying to interrogate them or something. So Amaiah, it's okay. I know you said you did not want to share the interview clip because you guys got pretty deep, which is amazing in your interview. But even though we're not going to share the specific clip, will you at least tell us what your favorite question you asked was, and then maybe just like the general answer that was your favorite when you had your interview with Miss Rearing?
One of my like favorite questions I guess I had was, what was it like teaching me? I guess, I don't know, because when I asked her what was it like teaching me, she kind of gave me a weird answer. It was funny though, because she answered back, well, when you were younger, it was like talking to an adult, and it was so strange. But again, you were also very moody, especially like when I woke you up to make you do work. And you really liked your space, because we used to have this thing where it would be like 1, 2, 3, and everyone had their number. And back then there was a boy who went here and everything, and they literally had to rearrange my number because I wanted to be in the back, because I did not like people behind me, and I did not like people too close to me. Freaks me out. I'm like, I'm slightly claustrophobic. So I was sitting here one day, and this little boy was too close to me, and I like slightly pushed him away from me. And then he got mad and told the teacher, and Miss Rearing said, well, if you were that close to me, I would push you too. And ever since then, I had to be at the end of the line, because apparently I just don't like people close to me, apparently.
Hey, it's a pet peeve. That's fair. Oh, man, that's a good question to ask your teacher. What was it like teaching me? You get some scary answers.
Right.
Anything else, Amaiah, about that whole experience that you enjoyed or that you want to share?
I would want to share the fact that, like, interviewing someone, I feel like you can really connect with them in a way, and, like, maybe see them differently. Because she also told me about her first class, and it wasn't even at the school. It was a whole different school, but whatever. She told me about her first class, what was it like teaching, and I guess she told me about, like, this little boy who, like, made a really big mark on her. And, like, kind of changed the way her technique was with teaching.
Nice.
Because apparently he went back and he talked to her once he was older and everything. And apparently his life wasn't going too well, and they had that talk, and he started to get his life back together.
Gotcha. That's so cool. The stories you get just asking someone questions like that are crazy. Because, I mean, they feel seen, and you can make someone feel like something that they experience actually matters. And so the fact that she got to share that with you is really cool, because you wouldn't have gotten that story otherwise. So that's always an awesome part of doing an interview for a story or for journalism or for anything, just to get to know someone better. So Jordan, if you're up next, let's go ahead and do this real quick. What's something that you learned from your experience of doing your first interview like that?
No matter who it is, you can learn something from them.
Nice. And so you talked to Mr. Saylor. Out of everything that you asked and all the answers he gave, what was your favorite part of your interview?
He had multiple jobs at once. Like, he was working on the weekends and on the weekdays, and that just proves he was dedicated to getting money and keeping his head up.
Good stuff, Jordan. So we'll play that clip now.
Yes. I went to the family center. At the time was the Boys and Girls Club in the neighborhood. And when I graduated high school, I had a college scholarship through the Boys and Girls Club. And so I went to college for a year and a half, and I flunked out. I did good for a year and a quarter, and then I had a really bad quarter and got all F's, quit going to class. And then I found myself, 20 years old and needing a profession. And so I got into the restaurant business, and from the time I was 20 until I was 36 years old, for the first few years that I was a substitute teacher, I still worked at night on the weekends. And for the first few years I was at Euler, I still worked on the weekends in restaurants. So I've done everything there is to do in a restaurant. I've worked in hotels, and it's a different environment. You work every holiday, you work every weekend. It's very exciting. The time flies by. So I would tell any young person or any age really, if you're looking for a career or you're looking to make a change, hotels, restaurants, things like that. It's you can make a nice living for yourself. And again, it's not an accident. When I did that, I chose to work hard every day. I tried to be positive. I had hope. And so I was able to go pretty far in that business for a while. But when I got it to be 34, 35 years old, I knew I needed to make a change, and I'd always been interested in coaching, and so teaching was a natural place to go with that. And so that's what I did. And I graduated from college in 2010. I've already told you I was 51. I'm 51 years old now, so you can do your own math. And, like I said, I've been here at Euler now for a little more than 10 years.
I want to thank him for giving me his life experience, pretty much, like how he started his job, and like I like how he told me about his experience with his jobs and all of his other jobs, and how he was coaching, working at downtown restaurants and stuff like that.
Is there anything else that you all want to add? Maybe, is there anything specific that you all are looking forward to creating in this class, whether that be a video, whether that be more graphics, news stories? Is there anything specific, or photography, that you're really excited about doing here these next few months?
I'm excited. I'm excited about doing photography.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be really fun.
Good. It will be.
I'm excited about like doing more writing,
Okay.
probably for like the Griffin or something.
Mm-hmm. That's good to hear, because writing is, it's not always the easiest thing. And there's a lot of students who really struggle to enjoy it. But then when they realize how good they are at it, and, you get to push them more, they warm up to it more. So it's already cool to hear that you're excited about writing, because sometimes that doesn't happen for a while. So that's just encouraging to know. You, Mia?
I'm excited for the photography.
Cool. I love it. I'm really hyped for that too. Again, I'm Mr. Connor, and this has been the first episode of an unnamed podcast that we'll figure this out as we go, probably, where we just reflect on some of the things that some of our youngest Euler stars are doing within the Media Arts program. But that said, I want to go around, say your names one more time, close out.
My name's Salma.
My name's Lashanti.
My name's Mia.
I'm Amaiah.
I'm Jordan.
Hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for listening, and keep tuning in. Thank you.